I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin. Sorry about that slight delay here. We're still working everything out. You got me today. Kyle is behind the scenes working everything out. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you very much. But we're going to get right into it here just shortly. What I wanted to do real quick is I already got some questions in the chat. That's freaking awesome. If you got any more, throw them down in there. I wanted to go over a quick little status update on a few players. Just came out just about a half hour ago. And we're looking at some people that are active that is going to determine some people start or sit. We're looking at Carson Wentz is going to be active, DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Swift, but some inactives. We do have T. Higgins is a deactive. We also got a couple other players, Marlon Mack, but another one I wanted to really talk about is Devontae Booker is an inactive today. He is the backup to Saquon Barkley. So that means, in my opinion, that Saquon Barkley is not going to have any limitations this week, everybody. So there was no indication that Devontae was hurt or anything like that. So they only have one other active running back today, and that's Gary Brightwell. Who? Yes, Gary Brightwell. So I think Saquon's going to have a nice full workload. All righty. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and answer that very first question that we have in the chat from my good friend David Holloway. You know, start or sit Mike Evans this week. David, you got to start him this week, man. Antonio Brown is out. He did not even make the trip. So that's a definite start. Miles Sanders or Tyson Williams. That's actually a little closer than I would like to admit right now, because Tyson looks pretty good, but I still got to lean towards Miles Sanders in that one as of right now. But this could be the week where it's, you know, you're going to find out for sure what's going to happen with Miles Sanders moving forward. And then Tyson, you know, it's kind of interesting to see how much more work that Latavius Murray is going to get as the season progresses. But we're talking about a Ravens running back, so I guess ride it while you still can until he gets hurt, sadly. That's just how it is right now for the Ravens running backs and San Francisco 49ers. I don't know where they practice, but stay the heck away from there. Or just stay off one of my teams. You know, as long as you got a player that's not on my team, then you're doing just fine. All right. So another question that we had, I saw from Twitter, it's from Fantasy Football Chewbacca. So Fantasy Chewy, Juju Smith-Schuster or Mike Davis in a half PPR. We got Juju going against the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of history there. And then Mike Davis is going against the New York Giants. I am actually leaning towards Juju just because of the target/reception volume. And that's because Deontay Johnson is out. Even with Deontay Johnson in, Juju was still getting a decent amount of work. And then Mike Davis in a half PPR, you know, he's losing quite a bit to Cordero Patterson, which is a sad thing to see. So you're going to see Patterson and Davis on the field quite a bit, but you're going to see Patterson a lot more on third down. So if this was a standard league, I think I would probably lean towards Mike Davis. But with that half PPR, let's go ahead and lean towards Juju. All right. Thanks for the comments there, Kyle. I appreciate that. That was good. Thanks for the text message. All right. And we got another one. It's kind of funny. I saw a lot of the same people are being asked, which made sense. And that is, we got another one, Juju Smith or James White at flex in a PPR. We got Juju once again going against the Bengals and James White going against the New Orleans Saints. Once again, I'm going to lead towards Juju. Even though I'd like to put my running backs in my flex, but this is a PPR, even though James White is, if he's ever going to be played, it's going to be in a PPR. But I don't like that defense that James White is going against. New Orleans Saints is notoriously good against the running back. So once again, and this is from Nick C at VU Wildcat 07. That's a great one. I'm going to go ahead and go towards Juju again. All right. Next up on Twitter, Oscar Gonzalez at Oscar GLZ. All right, we got Tyson Williams or Michael Pittman Jr. as flex in a PPR. We got Tyson going against the Detroit Lions. I like that matchup. Michael Pittman going against the Tennessee Titans. I like that matchup as well. This is a lot closer than what I would like to admit. Both really good matchups. Williams has looked really good with the ball in his hands, and I'm gonna go Tyson Williams. And one of the biggest reasons is Michael Pittman's having to deal with a banged up, double sprained, both ankles, Carson Wentz. So I worry that Carson Wentz is going to be able to make it through the whole game. And if that doesn't happen, you're going to have Jacob Eason and Brett Hundley in as quarterback, and then that just destroys Michael Pittman Jr.'s value, even though he did look absolutely fantastic last week, over 100 yards, quite a few catches. So if Carson Wentz was fully healthy, this is a no-brainer for me, Michael Pittman Jr., but it's just not that case right now. So give me Tyson Williams against the rubber band defense that is the Detroit Lions. Once again, everybody, if you got any questions, definitely throw them in the chat feature. I'll answer them right away. All right, we got another one from Twitter. It's from @kits_Keller7. PPR flex play. And this is with, Darrell Henderson ruled out is what the tweet said. And that is true. Darrell Henderson is not playing. So Sony Michel, Michael Pittman. Once again, we get a lot of questions about the same people. And it just made sense. I mean, these are a lot of the hard questions here at the end. Gabriel Duran, I'm going to get to your question here just next, man. Thanks for the chat question there. In a PPR on this one, I know I said it was close. I like Tyson Williams a lot better than Sony Michel, so I think this is a totally different scenario. I'm going to go towards Michael Pittman on this one against Tennessee. Now, let's not forget the LA Rams are going against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they just gobble up those running backs. And in a PPR, it'd be a little bit different than with the standard because Sony Michel is kind of useless in a PPR because Jake Funk is going to get a lot of work on that third down. And Sony Michel has never been one of those ones that catches the ball out of the backfield. So I would still lean towards Michael Pittman against the Tennessee Titans. All right. So the question, PPR Rondale Moore. This is from Gabriel Duran in the chat here. PPR Rondale Moore, Michael Pittman Jr., or Tony Pollard in the flex. I'm leaning towards Moore because of Hopkins' injury. And that is absolutely correct. DeAndre Hopkins is active, but I mean, this was a true game time decision. It's hard to bet against a DeAndre Hopkins, but I like what I've seen out of Rondale Moore, which is really hard for me to say and admit. You got to get rid of those biases out there because I'm an IU fan through and through, and Rondale Moore played at Purdue. So you're going to go ahead and ride that Rondale Moore train for as long as possible. He was always kind of hurt in college, but he's looked pretty dang good in the pros right now. So definitely go Rondale Moore in this situation, and you're just looking for that home run ball. I mean, for the guy being 5'7", but the guy is built. Absolutely built. I think he's over 200 pounds for 5'7". So give me some Rondale Moore and give me some Rondale Moore just in this future, in this offense. I think he's going to overtake Christian Kirk if he hasn't already as the number 2 wide receiver in this offense, which I don't know if Kyle likes that one. I think he's a big Christian Kirk truther out there. So I can see him, guys, but you can't, and he's just smirking a little bit. So you know the Kyle smirk if you watch any of our stuff. All righty. So this is another one. Gabriel, thanks for that. Thanks for that comment. Thanks for your videos and what you guys do. Wish you success. Thanks, Gabriel. Appreciate that, man. So from @Michael_Patelli. All right. PPR here. Alexander Madison, Detroit, going against Detroit Lions, or Tyson Williams going against Seattle Seahawks. You know, we've already mentioned Tyson a few times. This first time we're mentioning Alexander Madison. Does not look like Dalvin Cook is going, everybody. So that means Alexander Madison is going to be a player this week. It's happened a few times. We always say that when it comes to Dalvin Cook, which game is it going to be? Yeah, he's going to miss a couple. Now that we're going to a 17-game schedule, it's going to happen. And when you do that, you got to hope that you have Alexander Madison, or if you picked up somebody or you picked up Alexander Madison and the other team that you're going against is Dalvin Cook on the team. That's just even more little knife in the back there. But Alexander Madison, just because of the volume potential here, especially in a PPR, I think he catches the ball pretty well in the backfield, and they rely a lot on Dalvin Cook in the backfield. And I don't know how much of their game plan is really going to change. You might see a slight decrease in carries, and you might see a little bit more work out of the Adam Thielen and then Oh my gosh, what's the other wide receiver's name? But you're going to see a lot of work out of the other wide receivers for the Vikings. All right. Up next, we have at Dudes Locks. I think that's how you say it. Dudes Locks, man. All right. You got to start two in a full PPR. We got Mike Davis going against the New York Giants, Melvin Gordon going against the New York Jets, or James White going against the New Orleans Saints. Give me those first two, Davis and Gordon. Much better matchups. We've already kind of mentioned James White in this one going against the New Orleans Saints. That's not one I want to get around there. But, James White is the definite backup because I think Ramondre Stevenson, one of our guys that we liked, he had a fumble at pretty much his very first carry. And now he's been in the doghouse. But I do like James White, but just not between Mike Davis and Melvin Gordon because I think they're going to get a little bit more of the workload. We're waiting for Mike Davis to kind of fall into the end zone because he hasn't quite done that yet to really bring some fantasy value out there. And then, sorry, now I'm going to go back because I finally remember the guy's name, Justin Jefferson. Wow. For the Vikings, but also KJ Osborne, everybody. He's a guy that I picked up. I think I mentioned him on the waivers. He's leading the team in receiving yards because everybody knew that going into the season that was going to be the case. At Duke's Locks, thanks for that question, man. That's a pretty good one. We did say Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams were going to be drafted right next to each other, which it kind of was according to ADPs, and that's what you're going to get is kind of get some flex values out of both of those guys. See if we got any more. If you guys got any questions, throw them in the chat section, everybody. Let me take a quick drink while everybody thinks about what they're going to ask next. All righty. So this next one, I liked it just because of how he asked it, but this is Chris Wheeler at PinCup003. Who's the unsexy flexy I got to start in a full PPR? And Chris Wheeler, I'm going to be stealing that from now on. I'm going to be just talking about who's the unsexy flexy. So I appreciate that. We got Sony Michel, Tim Patrick, Jacoby Myers. So we got one running back and two wide receivers. So Sony Michel is going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about that before. Tim Patrick going against the New York Giants. That's not going to scare anybody. Jacoby Myers going against the New Orleans Saints. All right. So in a full PPR, I'm going to look towards the upside of a Tim Patrick just because he has caught a touchdown in the first two games. Targets aren't quite there because if you're looking for a target upside, so if you're looking for a decent floor, I think Jacoby Myers in a full PPR is pretty good. Don't like the fact that they're going against the Saints. Their corners are pretty darn good. And then Sony Michel, you're going to get the carry upside. But if this was a non-PPR, then I would possibly say Sony Michel. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the full upside of Tim Patrick. There's no reason for him not to catch another touchdown this week. All righty. So I got one that came through here from Kyle. Well, you're not going against me. So I guess I could probably do this one. Is Debo a start this week or does he get the Jair treatment? As Kyle, as you all know, Kyle is a big Packers fan. And we talk a lot about the Packers. They are my second favorite team, so I do pay attention quite a bit. I do think he is going to get the Jair treatment because Jair does follow along. He does shadow the number one option in an offense, and Debo, hello, has he come out on fire? And Brandon Ayuk, where'd you go, buddy? I mean, that's a pretty big doghouse you're in right now. I still would have to start him, though, because it's one of those things where they still get him work in the backfield. A lot of jet sweeps. I mean, Jair can't stop him in a jet sweep. If he can, then holy crap. Okay, Kyle, he is that good. But I would definitely still start Debo because you can't ignore what he's done. He's been a top 12 wide receiver so far this year, and they're still going to work him in this offense, especially with what's going on in the backfield for the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to lean heavily on the George Kittles and on the Debo Samuel, or like you like to say last year, the Debo Samuels. All right, there you go, Kyle. There's your answer for you. All right, another one. Let me make sure nothing's in the chat. No, nothing right now. All right, this is from at F Football X Champ with no picture, man. Go ahead and throw a picture in there for you on your profile, buddy. But PPR flex spot, Darius Slayton versus Kenny Gainwell. Slayton's going against Atlanta Falcons and Gainwell's going against the Dallas Cowboys. So pretty good matchups for both players right there. In a PPR, even though he dropped a easy touchdown last week, I'm actually going to lean towards Darius Slayton, even though I like to put running backs in that flex spot. But one of the biggest reasons, it's not because of Darius Slayton, and it's not because I don't like Kenny Gainwell. It's because Kenny Golladay is going to be on a snap count, everybody. He's hampered by that hip injury that cost him most of the season last year. And they came out and said that you're not going to see him as much this week. So I think they're going to have him out there maybe on 50%, maybe. And if that's the case, then you're going to get a lot from Darius Slayton or Sterling Shepard. And I think they're going to have to rely on a couple deep balls to Darius Slayton in this game. Only issue is who's throwing the ball that deep, but he put it on last week, so he's going to have to redeem himself on this one. So that's who I got on that one. We got one from OT. We got Daniel Jones or Ryan Tannehill. Ooh, that's a tough one. Let me see. So Tannehill is going against my Colts. Daniel Jones, we just mentioned it. Against Atlanta. I would still go with Tannehill right now. The Colts are getting back their number one corner, but you got the options of Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, and then Daniel Jones is just so hit or miss. Both have a decent rushing floor. I mean, granted, Daniel Jones' rushing floor is much, much better. But I just can't count on that arm, even going against the Atlanta Falcons. Give me Tannehill on that one. Give me Tannehill. All right, another one from the same guy. Should I start Jones, Saquon, and Shepard? Kind of tell me a little bit more about that. Which Jones are we talking about? And then what kind of league are we in? How many are we starting? Go ahead and add some more in there for me, OT. All right. Thank you for that, Kyle. I appreciate that comment right there in the our shared Google Doc. I think he's trying to break me right now. That's what he's trying to do. All righty. Oh, well, we got a comment here. Oh, okay, OT. So it's Sterling Shepard or Rondell Moore PPR. Yeah, so that's going to be the question between the two of them. Son of a gun. I really like Rondell Moore, but Sterling Shepard, man, he gets the targets. You still got a little boom and bust in Rondell Moore. Kyle shaking his head a little bit on that one, but you can shake your head all you want. I know you just absolutely hate Daniel Jones, which, I mean, Danny Pennies is what he is right now because he's not throwing any dimes. Give me Sterling Shepard, though, just because of target volume in a PPR is still going to come down with potentially up to 10 balls, especially with Kenny Galladay hurt. So give me that, and hopefully you get another touchdown or something like that, Sterling. All right. It's like my brother, a little JR action here. What are your thoughts about James White with flex? Half PPR ? You're not in another league. Stop making up questions, Jared. Let's see here. Well, we've already kind of talked ad nauseum about James White, so thanks for watching the whole stream there, bro. I mean, if you have to, yes, but because he is that direct backup to Damian Harris, and Damian Harris is dealing with a finger issue, whatever the heck that means. It's not a knee, Kyle, so we don't have to worry about that. If anybody's been with us for the long haul, you all know about that from last year. But I feel okay with James White in a flex. I would much rather have it in a full PPR. Much rather have way more options than that. So thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. He's got a knee. All right, let's see what else we got in here. All right, so another one from Twitter is at Adam Joseph, RAPER. Which one in a PPR flex? Chris Carson, Deebo Samuel, Tyler Boyd. Ooh, dang. Okay. Chris Carson going against the Minnesota Vikings. Deebo, Green Bay. We talked about Deebo. Tyler Boyd against Pittsburgh. I like the matchup with Chris Carson going to Minnesota, but this is a PPR. He got about 3 or 4 targets first week and then nada in the second week. He only salvaged his fantasy week because he had 2 touchdowns, even though he was averaging like 2 yards a carry. And Tyler Boyd is kind of enticing because of the fact that I do believe T. Higgins is inactive in this game. And that would be the only thing. But this is a Pittsburgh defense, even without TJ Watts. I think it's pretty good. Oh, boy. Man, this is where I would really like to talk to Kyle on this one because that's a pretty tough one. But you know what? Give me Tyler Boyd. Man, I'm going to regret that. Just because of the fact that they're going to have to throw the ball because this defense is going to be very tough against the run. And we all know about what Joe Mixon is. So I think Tyler Boyd's going to live kind of towards that middle. And I think that's what you would do. Carson is the pick for Kyle right there. I get it, man. I get it. Even though it's a PPR, then, he doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield as much, but I get it, man. That's who I would kind of lean towards. He's making a little comment here. They want to throw to the running backs more. Well, they didn't show that in week 2. I get it. They want to do it. I know. All righty, I'm going to go ahead and move on. But yeah, that one might come back and haunt me, but I'm going to keep an eye on that game. That's for sure. Tyler Boyd has performed in the past whenever it was just him and AJ Green. So, all right, we got Captain C. Baker. This is actually from our last start sit episode. Chubb or Barkley. I also have Tyson Williams. So if you really have to choose between the two of them, I mean, then hats off to you for having that as your team. But if we're talking, choose 2 out of the 3, you have those first 2 right away. Nick Chubb is just on a different level when it comes to running back talent. And if he were to get even just in today's world's running back workload, this is the number 1 running back in fantasy football. Because what he does with the opportunities he has is just insane. And then Saquon, I do think if you didn't catch it right off the top, I kind of went over some inactives, and one of the surprising inactive was Devontae Booker, who is the direct backup for Saquon Barkley, and there was no inclination that Devontae Booker was hurt. So I am leaning towards the fact that Saquon is a full go here. And I mean, we mentioned this in the start sit episode as well, is the fact that they had a little bit of a mini bye week. Yes, he did not perform. Saquon did not have as good of a game as I would have liked, but he did break off a pretty good run, and you almost saw the Saquon of old. So with a little mini bye week coming back, having about 8 to 9 days to prepare, I would say Chubb, Barkley, and then Tyson Williams is going to be good if one of those guys is hurt throughout the season, because once again, Chubb will miss a couple games here or there. He has during his career so far, and Saquon, he might get hurt where he needs to sit out if the knee swells up. So give me Chubb and Barkley on that one. All right. So, thanks, Kyle. I saw that comment in there. All right. Blue Jay support system at Annie Mallory 3. Leave a comment on why you're saying it's Blue Jay support system. So I don't know if they need any support right now, but all right. Mike Davis or Tony Pollard in a PPR. Mike Davis, New York Giants. That's who they're going against. Tony Pollard going against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kyle and I both really like what we've seen out of Tony Pollard because he is the most explosive running back in that offense by a mile. But I still am looking at the workload that you're going to get with Mike Davis. I think it's still going to be more. And surprisingly enough, I think Philadelphia has done okay against the running backs this year. So I would kind of still lean towards Mike Davis, but the clock is ticking when it comes to Ezekiel Elliott because, I mean, they're playing in the same exact offense, and Tony Pollard has just looked that much better. I do see Zeke out there a lot more for pass pro because he is better than Tony Pollard in pass pro. But, if you're being paid as one of the top running backs and you're being, left in there because of your pass pro compared to the fact that you're just better than the person behind you, then that's a little scary for your potential outlook. So, and I've mentioned this, and Kyle just had a comment in there. I have put Zeke towards my running back 2 now. I mean, that's just what it is. He never was going to get the 20-plus carry volume that you need out of Ezekiel Elliott to be very fantasy relevant because he is just a heavy workload type of running back. That's why he's just not that kind of upside player anymore. So I hear you, man. All right, let's see if we got any other questions out there. I don't have any more. Kyle, that's about all the questions that I had written up here. Let me just go over to our Twitter, make sure we didn't have anything else. All right, so Dan had a comment. Thanks, Dan. First, how much did I beat you by last week? Yeah, you beat me by quite a bit because you had Derrick Henry get bent. Where we do. All right, so we have one in the chat here. Oh, a little back to back. Wow, that's awesome. Trey Sermon or CEH full PPR. Ooh, that's spicy. Emmanuel Tariki, that's spicy, man. That's a really good one. I mean, hell, the 49ers don't want to play Trey Sermon. They have to play Trey Sermon right now, just because that's the only somewhat healthy running back that they have that they've been on this roster in CEH. And we mentioned that it has not been the greatest look for him, but I still would lean towards CEH because this is the number one offense in the NFL. And I still think they're going to have to force feed him the ball. And I just don't know if, Shanahan really believes enough in Trey Sermon. He's going to get the start, but I saw this online. I was like, he's going to get the start, and then you're going to get a guy like Kerryon Johnson. Yes, the ghost formerly known as Kerryon Johnson, get in there and get like 10 plus carries, and you're going to laugh and be like, what the hell just happened? So, Kyle put CEH for me, but I'm not happy about it. Yeah, I wouldn't be either, man. So Emmanuel Tariq, that's a great question, man. That's a really good one. I would still lean towards the CEH on that one. All right. Andrew Elwood discussed. So we discussed Debo, but would you sacrifice Terry McLaurin or Adam Thielen? No. Even with Scary Terry having, what's his Taylor Heineke at quarterback, the guy honed in on Terry McLaurin, and why the hell wouldn't you? McLaurin is going against Buffalo. I think their defense is a little bit better. Thielen going against Seattle. No, you don't. You don't do that. If you're choosing between the three, give me Terry, Scary Terry, and Adam Thielen, man. Hurts, but Emmanuel, it does hurt, but I am leaning towards CEH. Yeah, I hear you on that one, man. I definitely hear you on that one. All right, let's see if we got any else here. Oh, okay. Dan actually, asked a question that wasn't just a dig on me. I appreciate that, buddy. Start two, non-PPR standard: Gaskin / Michael Pittman, Michael Carter, Mooney, Latavius Murray. Have to pick one running back. Wait. Oh, good God. Yeah, thanks for trying to confuse the hell out of me on live stream, Dan. Jeez. I have to pick one running back out of those. Dang. I don't want to pick Gaskin because that offense is going to be absolutely god-awful with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. Sorry, with all due respect, Jacoby. Michael Carter's looking better, but you still got Ty Johnson there. And then Latavius Murray. Okay, give me Murray. And then wide receiver, 9 PPR. Give me Mooney because it's Justin Fields. That's what man. But Dan, I do like your Michael Carter. I think even though it's in this offense, the Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, I think they're just going to be kind of 1A, 1B for that roster for pretty much the rest of the season, I think, as long as both stay healthy. I think Tevin Coleman's out for a mysterious illness right now that's not COVID related. So, but yeah, we really like Myles Gaskin going into the season. But man, for some reason, they just did not want to give him the full workload. And then even though Tua is not what we would call a franchise quarterback, Kyle's definitely been on the, got off that train a long time ago. I think whenever he was still in Alabama. So, all right, it's like we got Gustavo Trevino, Sermon, or Tyson Williams flex standard. Give me Tyson Williams. I mean, even though both guys are still somewhat unknowns, you still have a little bit more of a known factor with Tyson Williams than you do at Trey Sermon. I just talk about a boomer bust right now this week. I think this guy might make my most boomer bust player because we just don't know what we're going to get out of Trey Sermon. Healthy scratch week 1, has 1 carry, out with a concussion week 2. I mean, how are we supposed to know? And this guy was always hampered by injuries in college as well. So give me Tyson Williams, and I have liked what I've seen out of Tyson, at least for right now, because I think they're going to get Latavius Murray that much more work. And no, I am not worried about the other running backs that they signed off the heap of Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman. All right, let's see if we got any more questions out there. All right. Kyle put, I'd go back a little bit on with Tua out, Gaskin should get more opportunity. Absolutely, Kyle. He should get more opportunity, but he's also going to see 8 to 9 men in the box because Jacoby Brissett can't push the ball down the field. So I don't know. Maybe Mike Gesicki might actually have a sighting here because he's going to work around that line of scrimmage, even though he does not. That's the thing. Mike Gesicki is a wide receiver playing tight end who's out in the slot pretty much all the time, or even on the very outside. But maybe they kind of push him towards the middle here because whenever Jacoby was playing for the Colts, he did look towards the tight end quite a bit. He honed in on a Jack Doyle and the artist formerly known as Eric Ebron of the Colts. So that could be one little DFS pickup. But that one's really, we talked about that in our start sit matchup. I think this week when it comes to Mike Gesicki, sorry, going off on a little tangent. This guy was a top 5 tight end the last 6 weeks of the season last year, a decent sample size. And we really like to look at those players that are, towards the end of a season, because that usually relays into what's going to happen the following season. It's not like they brought in another tight end, but once again, he's not really a tight end. They brought in a bunch of other weapons. And we put that in quotations, Will Fuller, and I will say Jalen Waddle is a freaking weapon. So that could be it, man. He just got bumped down there on the targets. So, all right, let's see if we got any other questions out there. Definitely I'm ready. I'm up next. If you guys got a question in there, throw another one on there. Kyle, do you have any other questions or anything like that? He is looking at his cell phone right now, trying to see if he's got any other questions out there for me. All right. That might just about do it for everybody here. Let's see if we'll give it another couple minutes here. I'm going to see if there's anything else out there. Make sure there's no crazy inactives or anything like that. Here's a question I just see on here. That was Latavius Murray or Alexander Madison. Both names have come up quite a bit. Give me Alexander Madison this week. Ooh. I got another one here, Kyle. It's another spicy one here. Rondell Moore or Corey Davis, full PPR. Give me Corey Davis because he's still the number one target in this offense. But I think Elijah Moore is going to be getting closer and closer to getting to that same target volume. If Elijah Moore's out there, everybody, even though this is the New York Jets, potentially think about putting him on your bench there because they like what they've seen out of him. And I mean, I know he was a teammate in college, but AJ Brown came out whenever Elijah Moore got drafted. He was like, this is the rookie of the year. And even though Elijah Moore got hurt in training camp and, rookie wide receivers are always tough to kind of count on, I think Elijah Moore is going to come on quite well. Our boy Zach Wilson is not afraid to throw the ball. That is for sure. It just might not be to the correct team. Tyson. Oh, I like your comment, Kyle. Yeah, we do mention that quite a bit. The running back one for the Ravens is not a running back. It is Lamar Jackson. Trey Sermon, Nyheim Hines, or OBJ PPR. Oh boy, fiber tablets. Dang. So OBJ is going to be active this week. I just about fell off there. Give me OBJ. Jarvis Landry is on the IR. They're going to have to throw the ball at least a little bit. I think the weather should be fine. Give me OBJ, and I do not feel good about that one bit. All right. Let's see here. Let me go back to our doc here. All right. Well, that first one's not going to help out there, Kyle. So we got a question. We're going to go Brandon Cooks, Chase Claypool, or DJ Chark at wide receiver in a half PPR. Because I do believe T. Higgins is inactive. Tell me if I'm wrong, Kyle, in the doc there. But if I have to choose one of those in a half PPR, give me Brandon Cooks because he is QB proof. That's for sure. The only reason why I wouldn't choose Chase Claypool is there's just so much boom or bust, even with Deontay Johnson out this week. I just don't think Ben can push the ball down the field because he's banged up as well. And DJ Chark, I mean, this is beyond boomer bust. This is probably the most boomer bust wide receiver that we're going to have in the NFL this year, just because he'll look at getting 12 targets and come up with 3 catches. And, well, if I'm making that up, I'm not making it up because that was week 1. That's what he did. So I'm just going to stay away from pretty much all Jags players, except for maybe Marvin Jones. I mean, we mentioned him quite a bit. We've always liked Marvin Jones out there. So, all right, see if we got any other questions, anything else in the chat. All right, last, going to give you 1 more minute, everybody. If you got any more questions, throw it down there. Let's see if Kyle's got any other ones. No, he did confirm with me. Thank you, Kyle, for confirming T. Higgins is out, which once again, if you have a guy out there that's on my team, then he's most likely going to be out or get hurt. RIP CMC. At least for a few weeks, but Kyle and I always talk about soft tissue issues for running backs. Granted, this is not something that Christian McCaffrey has ever really had to deal with in the past when it comes to the hamstring. It's not like an Arian Foster or anything like that. I mean, I don't think that guy had any hamstring left by the time he was done. All right. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Carson Wentz is officially active. I know I kind of mentioned something right at the top, but this was one of those things where that was definitely going to be coming up right before the game. And I still can't believe it. It's not 1, it's 2 ankles that are sprained. I think it's going to be very limited in mobility, which is not a good thing because this offensive line has not acted like one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. And this, I think Braden Smith is still out, the right tackle. Joey Bosa will play today. Who are the Chargers playing against, Kyle? Do you know? No. Always got to look out for Joey Bosa, the Bosa brothers, which I haven't really heard much from Nick Bosa this year. So, granted, it's a West Coast team. So, Nuke is playing today. So, DeAndre Hopkins is playing. But we have said what we feel about the upside of a Rondell Moore. The guy can just take it to the house at any one point. Dan, does Wentz have any other ankles to sprain? Thank you for that. No, but if he can find one, I'm sure he would try to find one to sprain. Another comment, Kenny Golladay is active. That was from Kyle. Thank you. I thought he was going to be active, but it's going to be very limited work out of Kenny Golladay, and it just hasn't looked that good anyways. So if you have Kenny Golladay in your starting lineup, please hope that you have a backup plan in place. Let's see if we get anything else from Twitter here. With Wentz active, will Pittman repeat last week? That's from Dan once again. I would love to see Michael Pittman repeat last week. But Carson Wentz has had to do a lot of stuff with his legs, as in getting outside of the pocket. And I think that's actually where Carson Wentz is most effective. The most scary, too, because of his fumbling issues in the past. But I think a lot of that happened. A lot of what Pittman was doing was because Carson Wentz was getting outside of the pocket. So I don't think he's going to repeat, which I wish, because the Tennessee Titans isn't really going to scare anybody when it comes to what they have to do. I really hope that the Indianapolis Colts really rely on the run, not because you are needing information on Pittman or not. All right, another one for another defense. Yeah, Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs will play, but Frank Clark is out. All right, Kyle, I think that's just about do it, my friend. All right, well, this has been the Fantasy Football Upside. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. I think next week we should be back to the both of us, so you get to see both ugly mugs. We got a little. Yeah, we both got a lot going on in the personal lives, so we do appreciate everything that you guys are able to do and questions and everything like that. So we do appreciate you guys, supporting us. If you were watching us, you already hit that subscribe. So definitely hit that bell so you're notified anytime that we go live or whenever we drop an episode. So we do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out.